Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Happy Friday.
We made it, ladies and gentlemen, and it's a feel-good Friday, if you will, because I think quite literally it feels good outside.
That's what I was going to say. The cooler weather makes it all better, and it being Friday, of course.
It doesn't hurt, for sure. Okay.
Nice thing to wake up to, for sure.
Yes, and don't take our word for it. Let's go outside and show you here on live cam as we get to the 9 o'clock hour. And plenty of sun to be sure, but I think the lack of humidity is a welcome sight for a lot of people. And so much so that Justin did the weather outside early this morning.
Very nice.
I had to go out to the garden, made it happen. It was so beautiful this morning. Still is, although we're starting to see temperatures kind of turn that corner, which we still expect a warm afternoon, but it will come with low humidity. What a start this morning. Let's start the show with, look at those numbers. 66 is what we got down to in San Antonio, 61 Hondo, 55 in Kerrville, 54 in Junction. So these were good numbers. It's been a while since we've had numbers like that. But as I said, things are beginning to warm up now. 74 degrees at the airport, 74 Converse and New Braunfels. Bernie, which was down into the low 50s, now into the low 60s. So beautiful there. And with low humidity, we'll see again, that rapid rise in temperatures. 87 noontime, 91 at 2 o'clock, 92, and sunny this afternoon. But do know that as we get into the evening hours, like this morning, just the opposite way, we'll see those temperatures fall off pretty quickly. 87 at 7 o'clock, 83 at 8 p.m. So good for Friday Night Football, good for whatever plans you have this evening. And the weekend's looking pretty similar. We'll look at that forecast. We've got some interesting stats when it comes to the drought, and we'll check in on the tropics too, which that's still an interesting situation out there in the Atlantic. More on all of that here in just a couple minutes.
All right, taking a look at your traffic authority, and things are looking pretty good right here as we get you going here on this Friday morning, start of our 9 o'clock hour across the beautiful city of San Antonio. 281 Thousand Oaks, west side of town. We have an incident there. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. That's going to be our shot there at Nogalitos, and 281 at the Quarry for all of our folks headed out to Basse, Jones-Maltzberger roads. That entire stretch traffic is looking pretty good. But as I mentioned, there's a shot there at 90 at Zarzamora, and we had an incident earlier by General Hudnall over by Frio City Road. Looks like that's actually been cleared out. So good news for our drivers on the west side of town. Maybe you're making your way over to John F. Kennedy High School, the home of the Rockets. Traffic is starting to move along there for our kiddos. Or maybe you're making your way to Lackland. Appreciate you guys being with us on this Friday morning. 1604 over by 151. This is going to be Alamo Ranch Parkway, and traffic right there still moving along after an incident that was reported earlier along Alamo Ranch Parkway. A little bit up the road there's Taft High School. A little bit slow down there by Culebra Road, but we kind of know the deal when it comes to getting our kids to some of the high schools there. Culebra by Taft High School, always very busy. Everything else across the city is looking pretty good on this Friday morning. Things have cleared out along 1604. Definitely love to see that, especially for all of our folks over by Helotes, 1604 and Bandera Road. But we're talking about the weekend. We have a big event taking place at the Alamo Dome tomorrow evening, Saturday. Tomorrow, the Chris Brown concert. More than 45,000 people expected for this show. And I'm hearing that the Alamo Dome may actually have to release more seats because there has been pretty high demand for this concert that's going to take place at the Alamo Dome. Doors open at 5 o'clock in the early part of our afternoon, and then the show's going to start at 7 o'clock. So be ready for some major congestion along 37, Cesar Chavez, Carolina, Florida streets, as we do expect a lot of people there. Via Park and Ride is available for all of our folks over by Crossroads and Brooks on the south to southeast sides of town. And we do have some city-owned parking lots that you can get to. Just got to make sure you get there early enough. The Martinez lot, which is a little bit closer to Hemisphere Southtown, the Alamo lot on South Alamo, and the Convention Center lot. Those are all city-owned lots, pretty safe options to park there, and I'm going to guess much cheaper than what they're charging at the Dome. It's going to be $60 just to park there for this concert. But again, a lot of folks are going to be expected out here for this Chris Brown concert tomorrow at the Alamo Dome. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, RJ, for that update. Well, a man is dead this morning after San Antonio police found him outside an apartment complex on the west side with multiple gunshot wounds.
This happened just after 1 this morning. Investigators say the two men got into an argument. One of them went upstairs to their apartment and the other showed up at his door. And that's when police say the suspect fired several shots through the door, hitting the victim in the abdomen and leg. He collapsed on the stairs and was rushed to University Hospital, where he later died. The suspect surrendered to police without incident.
Well, several cars left damaged after a man was caught on video throwing large rocks at them.
So this was yesterday near the downtown area, and we've got the video you see here that shows some of the worst damage. The incident happened around noon yesterday. The call came in on North Alamo near I-37 downtown, but our crews saw a lot of the damage along Broadway. The man detained did take his clothes off right before police caught up to him, but thankfully nobody was hurt.
God was watching out for us because the size of the concrete block he threw through my windshield, if this were not safety glass, it could have gone right through the windshield and could have injured someone.
So we still don't know the name of the man detained, and when we spoke to officers, they specifically told us they did not know if the man was on narcotics or experiencing some kind of mental health crisis. So if something like this were to happen to your vehicle, Progressive Insurance says vandalism is often covered by comprehensive coverage on your auto policy minus any deductible. Progressive says it would be covered since intentional damage to your vehicle is out of your control.
Well, vandalism often includes slashed tires, broken windows, and any type of defacing of that vehicle. So be sure to check with your insurance if something like this happens to you.
All right, now to a development following the announcement that Camp Mystic will reopen after the Hill Country floods.
Well, the family of an 8-year-old girl still missing sent a blistering letter to camp leadership in response. So during the July 4th floods, 27 campers and counselors from Camp Mystic died in the floodwaters at their Guadalupe River location. And on Tuesday, Mystic announced that it plans to reopen its Cypress Lake location for the summer of 2026.
So it's in the same area, but not right along the Guadalupe River. Mystic also mentioned the rebuilding the Guadalupe location at some point, adding some new safety measures. The camp's email said, quote, "We are not only rebuilding cabins and trails, but also a place where laughter, friendship, spiritual growth will continue to flourish. We look forward to welcoming you back inside the green gates." So KSAT received a copy of this letter from Cece and Will Stewart on behalf of themselves and some of the other parents in the Heavens 27 Memorial Group. The Stewart's daughter, Seal, is still missing. Part of the letter said, quote, "To promote reopening less than 3 months after the tragedy, while one camper remains missing, is unthinkable. Your communications treat our never-ending nightmare as little more than a brief pause before resuming business as usual. Worse still, you are preparing to invite children to swim in the very river that may still hold our daughter's body when you plan to open your gates," end quote. KSAT reached out to Camp Mystic about this letter from the Stewards, but so far we have not received a response.
Well, a reminder for people still looking for financial help after the Hill Country flooding, the deadline to apply is Sunday, September 28th, and that's this Sunday. So people who live in qualifying counties can submit damages and make claims to FEMA. So we have a link on our website to apply. Again, that's ksat.com. Well, the 12th annual Head for the Cure 5K is happening tomorrow morning, and we've been talking about this for weeks as the event is near and dear to our hearts, and it honors the memory of our late news director, Jim Boyle, who passed away in 2014 from glioblastoma brain cancer.
So, of course, the race is dedicated to raising funds, awareness, and hope for those affected by brain cancer. All the proceeds from the event will directly benefit local efforts for brain cancer research.
And joining us this morning is Michelle Hartfield, who has a very personal connection to the Head for the Cure 5K. And, we understand that, your family has been participating since the race started here in San Antonio in 2014. And now you run in honor of your husband, Michael.
Yes, so we started back in 2012, and at the time, Team Headstrong was just myself, my husband, and our 2 young daughters. They were 4 and 6 at the time, and it's every year our team has grown and grown, and this is our 12th year. Like we said, we're up to 106 members on our team.
I love it. We're looking at some of the pictures from years past, and you were telling us in the last hour just kind of the blessing that he was able to live long enough to participate in this race and to have your daughters, be involved in it as well.
Yes, so he was a 12-year brain cancer survivor. He was diagnosed 2 weeks after I had our youngest daughter, Clara. And so with the treatment and the care from his medical team, he was able to have 12 years with us. So we were blessed to have him, and he got to watch our girls grow up, and it was just so special because the connection, especially between my youngest, Clara, and her dad it was something that is just once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I understand, Michael, we see him in these pictures, that this 5K also meant a lot to him, too, at the time, run as a survivor.
It did. He was so proud to wear that survivor shirt and participate and run. And then at the end, when they would do the award ceremony, they would call the survivors up to the front. And, you know, year after year, it was different survivors, and he was there, you know. So it was one of those things that was a testament to just how proud he was to continue that fight and have those clear scans.
So brain cancers may not get as much publicity or media attention as some of the other more high-profile cancers, if you will. And you were kind of speaking to that about the need for funding because of the lack of research. And I guess there aren't a lot of medications either out there.
No, to my knowledge, there's only 5 drugs that help with brain cancer, because most people, when they hear, you know, the diagnosis of brain cancer, it's terminal. You may have 6 months, a year, maybe a year and a half with your loved ones. And so funding is so important to give those families that time.
Yeah.
And so what I love for Head for the Cure is 88 cents of every dollar goes back into research.
And we are glad that we're able to participate tomorrow morning. And speaking of that, Michelle, we want to tell everybody at home there's still a chance they can register, and they can even register for Team Headstrong.
That would be wonderful to grow our team, yes. And we've raised over $5,500 just our team alone.
That is awesome. But yes, thank you for joining us, and definitely join us tomorrow for the 12th annual Head for the Cure 5K. Again, it's happening just down the street at Providence, and you can still register, so don't worry about that.
Okay, and again, Stephanie will be emceeing, and you've probably, I mean, I don't know how many years you've done this event. You've been doing this for a long time, and I know it's close and personal. And you were here, obviously, when Jim Boyle was here, and everyone here speaks so highly of him and everything.
Yes, he's a good news director, and I mean, after, you know, we found out later, you know, big family man too, so it was nice that his family kind of put this together. And now other families can honor their loved ones and also, you know, pay tribute to everybody still fighting out there.
Super cool. So again, you still have time
Educator
to...
of the Month, brought to you by First Mark Credit Union.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Announcer Man. I was just going to say one more time, you still have time to sign up.
Yes.
But it looks as if Stephanie's not busy enough. This is also you.
Yes, this is also important here. So school should be fun. That is a message from Ileana Perez. She is the principal at Northside ISD Fields Elementary, and she is also KSAT's Educator of the Month.
So our staff tells us that she's an amazing leader and that she makes every student who walks through the doors of her school feel special.
A visit from Northside ISD Superintendent Dr. John Kraft, a pretty special moment for the students and staff at Randall Fields Elementary.
This week's edition of the Spirit Stick to none other than Ms. Perez and the Fields Falcons. Congratulations.
Thank you. But it's also a special day for Fields Elementary Principal Ileana Perez.
Ileana Perez, congratulations. You are KSAT's Educator of the Month and highly recommended from your staff and your students and your parents.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. This is your award.
Although Ileana Perez said she was surprised and honored to be recognized as KSAT's Educator of the Month, she was quick to credit her teachers and her staff.
We have a great staff. Like, our teachers are amazing. We have a lot of veteran teachers. They care about the kids. They love the kids, and it's just one of the best communities I've ever worked for. And our teachers work really hard. Our parents are wonderful, and the kids. I mean, the easiest part is the kids. They're amazing.
And Ileana comes from a family of educators, including her mother, Rosana Perez, who tells us that she is just so proud of her daughter.
Well, Ilana called me every morning at 6 o'clock on the way to work to debrief on her plans of what she's planning to do with the school, and everything has to do with the kids, with the teachers, and she cares about all of them like they are family. So this award, I think it means a lot to her.
And something Ms. Perez is also passionate about, making school fun.
I heard that sometimes you even like dress up to greet students.
Oh gosh, did anybody send you pictures? We play music in the morning whenever kids walk in, just because, you know, like, it makes it more fun. And if kids like coming to school and it's fun, then they want to come. Parents too, like, parents will dance across the crosswalk. And we want it to be a fun and exciting place.
Super fun costumes, huh?
It was like a traffic cone and a clown and other things like that.
Yeah, she definitely brings the spirit up of the students and also the parents and her staff as well. And another thing that's cool about the principal, Ileana Perez, is that she is a product of Northside ISD. So she went to Broccoli Elementary, also Timberwild Elementary, Stevenson Middle School, and then O'Connor High School, graduated from there. So all Northside schools, and now giving back to her district.
Good for her. Very good. Well, we love our educators, and I know you could probably give away 1,000 more of those little Apple trophies.
Yes, we wish we could, but
Yeah.
we're glad we got to honor her. And it's so funny.
Super cool.
She wanted to honor her other teachers.
Of course.
while we were there.
Of course. No, I love it. Okay, we'll step aside. More GMSA at 9 to come after a break.
Welcome back. It's 9:16, and here's today's 9 at 9. So former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted on charges of lying to Congress. Specifically, he is charged with giving false statements and obstruction. This marks the first prosecution of a former senior government official connected to the investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election.
Additional information about Jeffrey Epstein has been handed to the House Oversight Committee. The Epstein estate, complying with a subpoena, turned over another batch of documents to officials. They include a spreadsheet of handwritten messages, plus emails, flight logs, and cash transactions.
President Donald Trump has vowed not to allow Israel to annex the occupied West Bank. The president stated firmly that he would block that move, which is opposed by Arab leaders. President Trump says he'd spoken to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, but also emphasized his stance against annexation.
A new massive tariff on some imported drugs will take effect starting next month. President Trump says that brand name or patented drugs will be subject to a 100% tariff. The tariff will not apply to drug makers who are building manufacturing plants in the United States.
Well, Amazon reached a massive and historic settlement with the Federal Trade Commission for $2.5 billion. The FTC alleged Amazon tricked customers into signing up for Prime memberships and then made it difficult to cancel.
Record high beef prices are causing some restaurants to rethink their menus and raise the price for beef dishes. The U.S. Department of Agriculture reports as of July, the average retail beef price was $9.69 a pound, up $1.23 from the same time last year.
Time is running out to get one of those big electric vehicle tax credits under President Trump's spending and tax package. So the $7,500 federal tax credit for EV buyers ends on September 30th. Industry insiders predict that losing the tax credit will likely cause a sharp drop in sales.
The United States Postal Service says the price for market-dominant products, including first-class mail, will not increase in January. In addition, the price of a first-class stamp will hold where it is at 78 cents into early 2026. The Postmaster General says there won't be price changes until mid-next year.
So good news for people who like to look things up the old-fashioned way. Yeah, we're talking about a dictionary here.
What's that? Okay, all right.
Well, Merriam-Webster is publishing a new edition of its legendary collegiate dictionary. The dictionary includes more than 5,000 new words and phrases, including, okay, get this, dad bod, riz, and doom scroll.
Oh,
Sigh.
Okay, thank you very much.
Dad bod.
I remember my parents used to have this giant dictionary. It was like opening, the cartoons with those giant spell books. And, but
Sometimes,
it was.
Yeah,
yes.
I remember that as well. Sometimes I would look for a smaller dictionary just to, get to the point quicker. And unless it wasn't that one, you had to go to the bigger one.
I'm convinced kids don't use dictionaries at all. Judging by what I'm seeing.
Not a real, not a hardcover one. No. Just look it up. Hey Siri, what does this mean? Okay.
Exactly. This is the way it works these days.
Triggered my phone here. Siri, hush. Okay.
Let's take a look at the drought issue that we have going on. And look, it's we know where we are. It's been a really rough stretch. We got some rain at the beginning of the month, but what we're looking at here is essentially a calendar. I know this is hard to read here at the bottom, but these are months, years and months. So you look at 2011 to 2015. That was a pretty big stretch of drought. So the colors represent the darker the color, the worse the drought. But we had a stretch there for 4 or 5 years where it was pretty bad. We did okay, and now since 2021. September of 2021, we've basically been in drought ever since. And if you want to put it into number form, it's been nearly 1,500 days consecutively that at least part of South Central Texas has been in drought. And we showed you the drought monitor yesterday, and certainly that's exceptional to extreme across a large portion of the area. We just cannot seem to get out of this drought that we're in. And now that we're heading into La Nina in the winter, it's concerning. It truly is. I mean, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but the aquifer level has been steadily well below average. 629 is where we are today. And the last time the aquifer was above 650, which I would consider a pretty healthy number, you got to go back to April of 2022. So this stretch is showing few signs of letting up. And you look at the rainfall accumulation. Look, we did better this year than we have in a while, but we're starting to see that rainfall total fall close to the average, and we are at risk of falling below average if things continue the way they are. And I will tell you, there is no rain in the forecast over the next 7 days. So it was, I wish we would have got more with this front. We just did not. Outside right now, 74 at the airport. Things are starting to warm up. 70 in Bernie after that cool morning. It was so very nice. We'll make it up to around 92 this afternoon, 94 Stinson, 93 in Castroville. So there'll be some more numbers. But as I said, with the dew points as low as they are, we'll drop into the 50s this afternoon. And again, tomorrow, that's the kind of air that allows you those big fluctuations. So by tomorrow morning, we're back in the mid-60s. Saturday starts off great. 61 Nixon, and I know it shows 60s there in the hill country, but I think we'll be cooler than that. I'm looking at 50s for Bernie, Comfort, Kerrville, and likely Bandera too. Your weekend forecast, 93 Saturday, 91 Sunday. Do note that there will be a bit more cloud cover on Sunday, and that will keep temperatures down just a little bit. All right, extended forecasts. Even more cloud cover on Monday, 89 there. And then we'll be in the low 90s Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But as I said, rain free. That's the problem. But at least the temperatures are what they are. And Head for the Cure should be beautiful.
Wonderful. That is great news for all the participants tomorrow, and all the volunteers as well, because nobody wants to stand in the humidity.
No, we don't. Yeah, it'll be good.
Excellent, sir. Okay, very good. 9:22 right now, 74 degrees outside.
Well, medical technology is always evolving, and after the break, you're going to see how the younger generation is finding a path to success in the medical field while still working towards their high school diploma. Welcome back. It's 9:26, and health students from Brennan High School are getting the chance to experience hands-on experience in the medical field.
So they used a $5 million robotic system that surgeons at Westover Hills Baptist Hospital use every single day.
Well, our Pashada Pope tells us how that experience could inspire a new generation of engineers and healthcare workers.
My heart was a little bit, it was beating fast because out of excitement mostly. It felt very exhilarating. I loved it.
Elia Lucas was the first Brennan student to take the controls of the Da Vinci 5.
As soon as I heard about the robotic system and how robots are more involved in healthcare, I've been wanting to learn more about it.
The Da Vinci 5 is the latest model of the multi-million-dollar system used daily at Westover Hills Baptist Hospital. Instead of surgeons' hands, specially designed instruments attached to these slender robotic arms enter the body through smaller incisions.
Small incisions and have a patient leave the hospital very quickly. It's amazing.
Colorectal surgeon Dr. Michael Keller says technology like the Da Vinci 5 will be the standard in training for new surgeons across the board, and says students interested in health care should be introduced to new technology sooner rather than later.
If you see it and you realize this is something exciting, this is something I can see doing for the rest of my life.
The student's teacher agrees.
This gives them exposure to come out, see what it actually looks like in real time, and see what the world's going to look like when they get out of school.
The hands-on experience with the Da Vinci robot is inspiring future surgeons, but it's also highlighting to students the other avenues in the medical field.
The truth is the surgeon is at the very end of the process. There are millions and millions of code that are written to work the robot. I can only imagine how many engineers it must take to have created or maintained the robotics itself.
All say the students' everyday interaction with technology like AI, combined with opportunities to see their applications up close in medicine and other fields, can help students find a path to success. Pashada Pope, KSAT 12 News.
It's really neat that they get to work on that already.
Super cool. And again, like I said earlier, there might be a surgeon or two in the bunch there. So a future surgeon. Very good. All the best to them. More to come here. It is 9:28, 74 degrees outside.
Still ahead on GMSA at 9. So plans to build a wastewater treatment facility over the Helotes Creek watershed, raising major concerns for local researchers. So we're going to talk about those concerns and what it means for those living near the area. Welcome back. It's 9:32, and there is an area in northwest San Antonio that's been under a microscope lately. So the issue over the plans to build a wastewater treatment facility over the Helotes Creek watershed.
Yeah, so some researchers warn that could contaminate the drinking water for you, for me, for all of us, really, and the 2.5 million people who depend on it. One expert points to something that happened 25 years ago when 7 people died and thousands got sick after bacteria got into the water supply.
And he spoke with our Sarah Costa about this new potential project.
San Antonio gets its drinking water from the Edwards Aquifer. It's a karst or limestone system. Limestone, like the rock that I'm standing on, but underground. And this rock is porous and extremely delicate. And it's what the Helotes Creek watershed is made up of, right here, in our aquifer system. Lennar Corporation has proposed building a 3,000 home development over this area. That would require a wastewater treatment plant, which would dump treated sewage into our aquifer system. Researchers and neighbors have been fighting this for years. Dr. George Venny is one of the top experts on karst systems in the world. Karst is rock that's been dissolved by water, creating holes. He says any contaminant in this system can be deadly. He points to an incident in Canada where a farmer spread manure over the land and it rained a lot. That bacteria got into the limestone water system.
As a result, 7 people died and about 2,300 people became ill. In principle, in a certain sense, nobody did anything wrong, except for one thing. They did not understand that this was a karst area.
Whether it's manure or the wastewater facility failing and a bit of E. coli getting into that water and into our karst system, why should we be concerned?
The situation that happened in Canada is just telling us how sensitive the aquifer is to pollution and what the repercussions could be if the aquifer is polluted.
Bill Pack lives right on Helotes Creek.
When I heard about that report, it was pretty shocking. I mean, I hadn't heard about people dying before.
He and his wife have been fighting this development for years.
If it gets contaminated, we're going to be threatened in probably several different ways. So it's not a good feeling at all.
Venny says whatever happens with the proposed wastewater treatment facility, he says safety of the community should be the priority.
I want to make sure that we understand how sensitive it is, and we need to have the proverbial seatbelt and airbag, both working together to protect our water supply.
Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
Well, earlier this week, we ran a KSAT Explains on the proposed Guajolote Ranch development in Northwest Bexar County and why it's facing backlash. So in response to that story, Lennar, which is the corporation behind the project, sent us this statement saying, in part, quote, Lennar is taking extraordinary steps to protect water quality in the aquifer contributing zone with a wastewater treatment plan that meets all the requirements in the water service agreement with SAWS, who will provide water to the community.
So they went on to say our facility will be among the most advanced of the area's dozen or so treatment plants already operating over the contributing zone, end quote. You can scan the QR code on the bottom of the screen to read the full statement and watch this story.
Go outside with a live cam. A very nice 74 degrees. I mean, we started yesterday in the 70s, and today I think it was in the high 60s. It was just beautiful this morning.
It was such a great shower. Just exactly the way you would want to start a weekend. You know what I'm saying? With these temperatures the way they were. We had some 50s on the map too up in the hill country, but things are starting to warm up, and we got the pollen count in, and I was a little surprised, but it's not good. Molds are moderate, ragweed is moderate. So those are two that tend to really get to people, and that is not a great number this morning. So that's the latest pollen count. Let's look at the forecast. 79 at 10 a.m., 87 noontime, 92 for a high today. Sunny skies all day long, low humidity all day long, and that will allow for some morning lows to be really pretty nice over the next 5 days or so. Tomorrow morning, we're all the way down to 65, which is about where we were this morning. Now, the average is 67, so I'd say we're going to be right at about average, even going into next week. Mornings in the 60s, afternoons in the 90s. That's pretty much what you could expect going forward, at least in the near term, guys.
Thank you, Justin. Let's look out there with the TransGuide. Some of these cameras here looking over at Highway 151 at Loop 410. Things are good. Sun shining there at 37 and looking good at I-10 at Wurzbach Road. And right now, there are no problems on the TxDOT website.
All right, a heads up. Today and tomorrow, there's a jazz festival happening at Hemisphere Park, and it is free. The festival is Jazz is Alive, and it's been around for 41 years now.
And like the jazz genre, there is something for everyone, including the kiddos. So more than 40 vendor booths will be there. Some creations from local artists that you could shop, and also there will be a pumpkin patch. So for a more elevated experience, there are VIP options available. And before you say jazz is not really your scene, you might want to hear this story.
Yeah, in a city not really known for the genre, we found out there is a long history of jazz in the Alamo City.
And part of this KSAT Explains, we found out that it's a sound that's thriving here if you keep an ear out.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Now, when I think music in San Antonio, I might think of Tejano. I might think of country music even. The love of metal that San Antonio seems to have. But I didn't think jazz. What am I missing?
There is a love for jazz in San Antonio. 917 KRTU. And kicking off the music with...
JJ Lopez is the general manager of KRTU, the only jazz radio station in San Antonio.
Right here in Laurie Auditorium.
Housed at Trinity University.
One of 2 in Texas, one of 58 in the United States.
The station has been around since 1976, but since 2002, KRTU has been dedicated to jazz. Its success is supported by listeners in a city that has a love and a lineage of jazz greats.
We'll do some San Antonio music. We'll feature music from the great pianist Aaron Prado, as well as the wonderful Jim Cullum and his jazz band who held court.
Who was Jim Cullum?
Father, mentor, leader. You know, he was Mr. San Antonio, and he was a giant in everybody's world, not just mine.
At his restaurant, Cullum's Attaboy, off of the St. Mary's Strip, Chris Cullum is keeping his father's legacy alive.
We listened to Jim Cullum Jazz Band. We're enjoying it right now.
Jim Cullum and his father, Jim Cullum Sr., opened the first nightclub along the Riverwalk, The Landing, where the Jim Cullum Jazz Band took the stage.
He would work with the energy of the room, and the set and the music would go along with the service.
And that's just a little taste, if you will, of that KSAT Explains. You can certainly learn a lot more and catch the full episode right now on KSAT.com or the KSAT YouTube page. Just type in KSAT Explains Jazz in San Antonio and enjoy the stylings of Myra Arthur doing her thing there.
Yes, it's very neat to see the backstory on it. And of course, you know, we can just go to the Riverwalk and listen in.
Former Mayor Ron Nirenberg's in there too, because he once ran that radio station at Trinity University before he got into politics and everything.
That's right.
Yeah, once upon a time.
Trinity.
Exactly, yeah. Okay.
It's here.
9:40 right now, 74 degrees. Still more GMSA at 9 to come.
Well, on San Antonio's west side, one zip code has a 43% poverty rate. Now one organization is fighting back, giving hundreds of at-risk teens a safe place to land. Why this organization is a lifeline for so many families. That's coming up after the break. Back 44 and anger turned into a life of strong leadership for one local young man. So he entered the City Life program as a young student, and now he works for the organization.
At age 19, he's helping the mission of mentoring many at-risk students and teen parents in the 78207 zip code. Our Japhanie Gregg got to learn Zaid's story firsthand, and here it is.
I grew up in a single parent household. My dad wasn't in the picture, and most years I lived in an abusive household. Being in the community where it's like a lot of gang related stuff, it was kind of hard to like fit in.
When you were introduced to City Life, you said your uncle introduced that to you. How did you feel going into it at first?
I was kind of nervous to come into it, but I was kind of tired of everything else, so I was down to try anything.
The child that you were then, would you say that child is different from the man that you are today?
Yeah, I think I've changed a lot over the years. I was kind of just angry at the world, angry at men, kind of just upset with everything. And I think now, like, I've been able to show grace. A lot of these kids kind of go through the same thing. So it's really just trying to relate with them and showing like, hey, like, I understand what you're going through, and like, you don't have to go through this alone. I don't have all the answers, but I'm gonna go through it with you. Playing games with the kids, again, it brings out that competitive spirit. And I think that it kind of builds like, It builds like a sense of trust.
Camp is coming up.
For a lot of these kids, it's the first time they get to leave the community. It's a getaway with a big group of friends. You get food provided, a cabin, and it's just games. Like, you get to be a kid.
Do you get nervous when you have to work with them?
Working with them, I don't get nervous. It's more like the more kids we get, the more excited I get. I know these kids do need help, and when we get more, they're coming because they want the help. So if you're a kid and you need a place to be or just someone to talk to, like, I think for sure this is the place.
Thank Japhanie Gray for bringing us that story as well.
I told her earlier, I mean, doing an interview and playing ping pong at the same time, that's
that's
next level.
a lot of focus there.
Yeah. So
But that organization, that program, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love what
good
they're
stuff.
doing there.
Good stuff.
Yeah, truly. Okay, guys, we got to go out to the tropics, and this has been a topic of conversation. We just, literally within the last few seconds, got this 10 a.m. update on Umberto, and it is strengthening. Still Cat 1, but winds went from 75 to 90. It's moving northwest at about 5, and this is Umberto here. Now, I think we're getting some clarity now on how this is all going to play out. Umberto is going to take that turn that we've seen over the last, with the last several storms out over the open Atlantic. So this one will not be a big issue for the East Coast. But Imelda may, and I know this isn't Imelda yet, but it's almost a guarantee that it will become Imelda. In fact, we'll see with the new updates where this stands. But we have the spaghetti plots, as you know. They give us an idea of where this may go. And they really are centering and zeroing in on a North Georgia, southern South Carolina landfall. And this means we could see some heavy rain there along the coast. And if it strengthens some, obviously, we could get some storm surge, some very gusty winds. So those in Georgia, South Carolina, maybe even North Carolina, want to pay close attention to this. Now, this is sort of an interesting setup because this is going to get pulled into an upper level low. And so there may be some dry air that gets pulled in there, and it may affect the storm some, but I still think this could be a huge rainmaker and a big problem there for those in the Carolinas. So if you have interest there, please be aware of that. We are post-frontal here in Texas, so skies have cleared, the air is drier, and you'll notice most of the western 2/3 of the country is really pretty quiet. The precipitation outlook, October 2nd through October 6th, so this is kind of long-term, still showing drier than normal. You know, we talked the last half hour about the drought situation. With this kind of setup, it shows a few signs of improving. So just know that it's going to be a dry stretch for us as we get into October. Hopefully, at some point, maybe mid-October, we will get some fronts that generate some rain, because boy, do we need it. Outside right now, at least it is beautiful, 74 degrees at the airport, 74 in New Braunfels and Comfort as well. Bernie has made it up to 72, so rapid warm up there with light northerly winds for the most part at most of our reporting locations, and we'll continue to see that north wind. It got a little breezy yesterday. The winds will not be as strong today. Temperatures around the area, 74 Seguin, 81 Gonzales already. 75 in Uvalde, 69 in Leakey, and those temperatures again on their way up. Hey, I'm saying this is Saturday's big game. There's a lot of big, good games on Saturday, okay? But locally, Auburn takes on A&M in College Station. This game's at 2:30. Temperatures will be in the 80s. It'll be full sun, no rain chance. Ought to be a really good game. If I'm being honest, I'm very nervous about this game, but it's just part of being an Aggie. My fellow Aggies will know. Maybe. Baylor takes on Oklahoma State and Stillwater. That's the other Texas team playing. All the other Texas teams, by the way, are on byes. So these are the two Texas teams. That said, there are a lot of good games this weekend. I was just telling Steph and Ernie that my plan tomorrow is to sit on the couch all day. I don't get to do that very often, but that's what I'm going to do.
I approve.
After the Head for the Cure.
I will be at the Head for the Cure.
After you run.
And so I'll run and I'll earn the chance to sit on the couch for the rest.
All right, speaking of that, go ahead and carb up.
Yay, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Our friends at SA Live, Ted, thank you for coming in the studio and bringing us a treat.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
That was really me who thought of that. No, I'm just kidding. It was all Ted. It was all Ted, okay? It is National Pancake Day, so that's why we sent those really cute mini pancakes
These are
over
cute.
because wait till you see the mini pancake spread we've got going on. But we want to know, what's your favorite way to eat pancakes?
Yes,
Do you
yes.
pile stuff on? Do you leave the syrup off?
Yes. Well, two things. One, I put crunchy peanut butter on mine, and the syrup is on the side so that I may dip.
He's a dipper.
That's how I roll.
I don't know about that.
That was judgy.
I'm not a peanut butter person. To each his own.
No, that's fine.
I'm a weirdo, though. I just like my pancake almost plain, maybe like a dollop of syrup with some butter, and that's it.
Very good. Oh,
And
sorry,
Stephanie?
I was helping Ernie here. This is mine, so you have to have the other one. Oh,
Oh, no.
there you go. Okay. I as much as I love chocolate, I actually like pancakes the traditional way, just the regular maple syrup or whatever,
those are
the
really
house
good.
syrup, wherever
Yeah.
I'm at.
Can't go wrong with the classic.
Yeah, pretty boring there for me.
Okay.
Are these
all right.
bottomless, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
Fiona, can we...
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Those are
you're
great.
welcome. Thanks, guys.
Oh
So
my
scan that QR code, folks, and weigh in. Well, move over waffles. We're talking mini pancakes. I've got Brenda Puente from Stacks and Smiles here. And what's the secret, Brenda, to making them fluffy and golden?
So the secret is once you make your pancake mix, you want to let it sit out for a little bit, and that'll help the mix fluff up, and it'll give you those fluffy pancakes.
All right, we're going to have more and tell you about a great deal she's got for SA Live viewers. But now we're going to send it out to Jen, who's getting crazy, right?
Oh yeah, we are. We're talking about snacks with an attitude. You know, this is cheesecake somewhere under all of this deliciousness. We're at Poloco Snack Bar, but what's nice is that they pair right here with this food truck behind me, Taqueria San Peter, and look at this. It's not hot Cheetos in there. I don't even know what's in there, but we're gonna find out. There's all kinds. I see avocado, and so we are gonna check out the menu at both places, guys. And there's a freebie, but you're gonna have to go to our social media to get that. Back to you, Fiona.
All right, well, Ancient Aliens is back with Wild Theories, and we talked with one of the authorities on the subject, and you might recognize him from a popular meme. And new do, well, we check out the hairstyles and colors that are trending as we head into fall. And born to stand tall and cute, there's a new bundle of joy right here in South Texas, where they welcomed a baby giraffe and how you can meet the whole family in a private and up-close experience you are never going to forget. Plus, a great deal to tell you about, too. All that and more, and SA Live continues in just a few.
Welcome back. Cirque du Soleil is bringing the new version of their arena show, OVO, to San Antonio this weekend.
Yeah, so the tour takes hundreds of people to put together whenever they go to any city, and we got a little behind-the-scenes look at what you can expect.
The show is themed around bugs. So the show's actually, they're all insects. The 53 artists you'll see on stage, there are scarabs and crickets and spiders and black wire balancing spider. So very acrobatic, beautiful, vibrant insects inspired by Cirque du Soleil. We travel with 20 semi-trucks. So that's what it takes to bring on the stage, the backstage, so training equipment, a full-size gym, the catering. We have dressing rooms, of course, offices, you know, everything that we need to put on the show, because we're full-time touring year-round for 16 years and going strong. So it's a whole village that we set up here at the Frostbank Center. If you've never seen a Cirque du Soleil show, I think you can expect to be impressed, inspired, that's what we'd like, with the world-class acrobatics that you'll have, and the live music, and the video projections, the handmade costumes that are vibrant, the characters. We create a whole universe, and we really hope that people will come here in the seats, you know, this weekend in San Antonio, and just forget about their worries and come onto this journey with us into the ecosystem of OVO with our beautiful, acrobatic, and funny bugs.
All right, so picture this. I'm imagining eating mini pancakes on the porch tomorrow morning in 65-degree weather. Sounds so nice.
Imagine no more, Justin.
They're back.
We have them
So
here.
good.
Yes. All you.
Very tasty. I'm looking forward to that tomorrow.
Yes, I am too. Just looking forward to the cold weather altogether.
Yes.
Okay, and if you run out of pancakes, just walk over to SA Live. They'll take good care of you, and you can watch them right now.
Celebrating San Antonio with the city's #1 lifestyle and variety show. This is SA Live.
Oh, good morning. I'm Fiona Gorostiza. Well, it's National Pancake Day, and you know, there are places around town celebrating, like Cracker Barrel is doing, if you dine in, like, you know, all you can eat pancakes for $5. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my co-host, Jen, who is out and about today. And Jen, do you have a favorite way to eat pancakes?
First of all, thanks for sharing that deal, because I think there's plenty of them around town today, Fiona, so that's really cool. My favorite way is I don't really use syrup, so if it's a buttermilk pancake, I'll just eat it